What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapiche. And this is the Mad Boxing Show, or Mad Boxing for short. Thank you so much once more for stopping by on this lovely Sunday. Afternoon slash evening on this breezy slash hot day here in Las Vegas after the whirlwind of yesterday's performance of one Sebastian Fundora, which is going to be one of the topics we're going to be talking about. It seems as though we're still experiencing the whirlwind of his left hand because it was kind of breezy outside. There was some trash being thrown around in my, blown around, I should say, in my front yard earlier today. But we appreciate you guys stopping by and listening to us rant and talk about the inner workings of the world of professional boxing, because there's plenty to talk about this week, at least. One of which, of course, the fights that took place last night. Holy hell! For those fight fans, there was a lot of fights yesterday. There was the PBC pay-per-view with Fundora and Thurman. There was earlier in the day Moses, if I can pronounce his last name, Itauma, Itauma, one of the two. His excellent performance yesterday, Saturday morning. And there was some UFC and PFL fights on last night. So holy shit, it was a lot of fights, a lot of switching back and forths. I had my laptop, my desktop going, my TV. So a lot of fights. But of course, we're going to be talking about the ones that impact our lovely sport of professional boxing, including that performance by another Queensberry heavyweight in Itauma, if I can pronounce that name right, Itauma or Itauma. But taking on or defeating Jermaine Franklin. We're going to talk about that, of course, amongst other topics that popped up during the week. One, Devin Haney has a court date. We're going to be talking about that, of course, because of his out of the ring altercation that took place a few months back at the weigh-in for Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. We're going to talk about the repercussions of that. Of course, yesterday's main event, pay-per-view main event with Fundora and Thurman, the co-main event, was also at 154 pounds. We're going to be talking about that because, as we've talked about in previous weeks, the 154-pound weight class is pretty damn stacked. And more news in that weight class with a possible date for Xander, Zayas, and Boots Ennis. They're on Boots Ennis, so we're going to be talking about that, of course. Let me take a look at my docket here, and some more Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao news that we're not quite sure what to make, but. Let's say we're going to be talking about a couple of claims that our good buddy Floyd Mayweather is making in regards to the legitimacy of this fight coming up that may or may not be here in Las Vegas at the Sphere, and may or may not be a legitimate fight, maybe an exhibition, at least according to him. So we got all that to talk about and much more, and throw in our 2 cents, of course. But before we get into the actual topics of the conversation, as always, a quick word from our video sponsor, Healthy Soul tallow-based products, Health Y Soul, if you want to look it up in English, but it's Health E Soul. And if you happen to want to check them out and find anything you might want to try, make sure to use the code MADBoxing10 at checkout and get 10% off of your purchase, or follow the affiliate link that's going to be in the description of this video and get that same 10% off of your purchase, of course. And I believe lavender patchouli is a specific scent that I like to use for the soap. That's primarily what I use it for. But make sure to give them a try. Healthy Soul. The stuff it's good stuff. Tallow-based products, natural soaps, no nasty chemicals. All right, so we're gonna get crack-a-lackin' started with, of course, the news of yesterday's main event. There was a sentiment going into this fight here from my co-host Andrew in regards to just getting this damn fight over with, so we can proceed with the weight class and proceed with the fights that will come afterwards. If you guys remember, this fight was supposed to take place back in October. I believe Fundora said he was prepping as early as August for that fight, and unfortunately, I believe it was some sort of tendon or something with Fundora's hand that unfortunately had to postpone the fight. There was even some news that the fight might have even landed or might land on a Manny Pacquiao undercard as a co-main event. That didn't happen. It ended up being basically its own pay-per-view card, which may or may not be a success if you look at the stands and the seats for that particular card. But if you guys didn't catch it, Sebastian Fundora beat the brakes off of Keith one-time Thurman. The Towering Inferno came in and cleaned house, basically. Holy hell. Thurman did say that the plan was to move around, right? Side-to-side movement. It looks like that's what he was saying basically throughout, the promotion of this fight. He wasn't going to just stand in front of him. He's going to go side to side, and for the most part, he tried to do that. It looked as though it was ineffective regardless, because Fundora was able to catch him. At least a few times that he was able to keep him still, and the times that he was able to reach Thurman, it looked like Thurman just wasn't able to get out of any of those shots, even from the very first left hand that Fundora threw right off the bat. He set the tone with how that fight was going to go. And unfortunately for Thurman, he wasn't able to get out of any of those shots. Stunned a few times. You can see it. His face looked like a fucking mess afterwards. He went on to basically throw some shade to the referee for stopping it at that moment. He says, he gave us a couple of examples during the post-fight press conference of Eric Morales, against Maidana, and how his eye looked. And it's like, yo, we want to go out on our shield. Don't stop it. I was letting him know I'm doing fine. I'm still moving back and forth. And referee Thomas Taylor, I believe his name is, decided to stop it. I was okay with the stoppage. Yeah, maybe he could have waited one more round, maybe given him some sort of warning. I'm not sure if he did in the corner. Go up to his corner and say, yo, you're taking a shellacking. I can only keep going for so long. If you don't do anything in this next round, then maybe cut it. I don't think he did that, but if I'm wrong, by all means, let me know. But he decided to step in, and Fundora defended his WBC 154-pound championship and came out pretty unscathed, quite honestly. I mean, even in his rematch with Tim Tszyu landed some shots and bloodied his nose, at least, right? Thurman wasn't able to do any of that. I was texting Andrew and some other peeps. I don't think Thurman's going to be able to keep this pace and move around as much as he did. And I guess it got to the point where the punches were landing anyway, and he wasn't going to get out of the punches anyway, out of the way of the punches. And if you hear him talk, Thurman says, it was just getting good, guys. It was just getting good. The referee stopped it at the worst possible time. This is where I'm going to implement my game plan, yada, yada. And it just didn't get to that point. So, Sebastian Fundora wins by 6th round TKO referee stoppage. Andrew, I'm going to bring you in on this topic here before we go any further. What did you think of Sebastian Fundora's performance last night, and where does he go from here?
What's up, bro? I love the performance last night. Fundora did exactly what he was supposed to do, right? To an aged inactive, that being the bigger word than the age.
Okay.
Was that Thurman has been inactive for a good portion of the end of his career here, past few years. Taking two-year layoffs is pretty big, significant when you're talking about, are you elite still? So what happened to him on Saturday was supposed to happen, right? All the odds had it right. They all had Fundora winning by knockout, and that's clearly what happened. Look, I wasn't happy about the stoppage. I hope that doesn't become a common thing in boxing, right? Because I didn't like that the doctor came up and talked to him either. He had shown no signs of being weak. His eyes weren't badly swollen. The cut was on the bottom. Like, what are we doing? Why are we up there talking? And how are you feeling? Who the fuck cares? He's fighting. He's trying to land a punch to change his life. That's what he's doing. That's what I'm doing right now. And if I'm blind, check this out. I still know how to throw a fucking punch. So leave me alone. Right? I didn't, that was the first red flag, that the doctor went up there and talked to him. And I think the ref stops it in the very next round. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, he might have, yeah.
Yeah. I want to say that was the same round that the ref stops it for. Nothing is a strong word, because there was definitely something going on.
not worth stopping over.
Yeah, man. He didn't. Hey, I got to kind of agree with Thurman at the end in the press conference, dude. I didn't hit the canvas. My legs weren't away from me yet. Right? He's moving. He's trying to find the shot, the one-time shot. That's it. and you're going to have to beat it out of him for him to go down, but give him that. He's a champ, right? This is his final moments in the ring. It's a hard sell in today's world because now, oh my God, so just let him fucking fall over. Well, I don't know. Is that what he signed up for? Talk to the fighter.
Mhm.
This is what I mean. Like, in amateur boxing, Miguel, you got to sign a waiver for a kid to fight.
Yep.
Why don't we sign waivers for these guys? Like, hey, you ain't stopping it unless I'm on the canvas or fucking my eyes are completely, you're putting up 2 and I'm saying 0 or 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My vision is gone or I'm on the canvas face first is the only way I want this fight stopped. Where do I sign? I don't want none of this. How do you feel? I think you don't look good. Don't want it. The risk is too high. And sometimes that is more than your health for some of these guys. And Keith Thurman, if he really felt like he was about to be in a good spot to get that one-time shot, don't take it from him. Beat it out of him.
Yeah. And it looked like Fundora was more than agreeing to oblige and just continue that punishment. I don't know how many more rounds of that Thurman would have been able to take, but maybe a few more rounds. You think? Like
Not a
by the
lot.
time, huh? Not a lot more.
It's coming to an end. I mean, he could talk all he wants. We all seen the tape. You know what I mean? He was getting binged on.
Mm-hmm.
But there were glimpses of Fundora getting touched, Miguel, and I kept thinking of Mendoza. That's all we have left. That's all we have left is Mendoza, bro, because right now this 28-year-old looks unbeatable at 154. Got to say it. If his chin holds up, how you getting on the inside? And when you get there, that used to be his game. You remember back in the day where, like, he stays on the inside too much. Why don't he use that range? Well, now he's like a fucking prime mantis on the outside sticking you. And then when you get on the inside, he can still fight with you because that's what he came into the game knowing. Yeah. It's a deadly fighter right there, man. Fundora is deadly. Like, the other guys might be able to land a punch. Thurman landed punches. You said Zoo landed. Mm-hmm. But so far, his chin is held up since Mendoza, and he has what? 3 out of 4 of his last fights are all knockouts. So as the opposition got better, what did our boy do?
Taking him out.
now his knockouts are getting better. Yeah. Someone's learning. Miguel, this morning, people are on the internet saying, "Is it fair?" What the fuck?
Oh, yes, I have heard of that. It's like time to start checking his gloves. Like, yo, what? Since when? I mean, he's a big dude. He's huge. He's got long arms. He has the kind of leverage. And people don't realize how much leverage some of these guys with long arms can really generate. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, at no point has that crossed my mind yet. Like, start checking his gloves, start checking his wraps. Like, okay, come on.
I also think they want a height limit in the weight divisions. I believe if this goes to a 6'5", 80-inch reach. That's what this is pointing at. The new "is this fair" argument.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, man. No, because, hey, look, 80-inch reach is deadly.
Well, it is, but it's a rarity. It's a rarity. Nice. He's a rare dude. I mean, it's not like what is he gonna do? Go do a different fucking weight class or height class? Who else is gonna be there? Nobody else. That's the point. It's the weight classes, right? But he's a rare one. It just so happens that he happens to be gifted with those physical attributes. So, of course, he's gonna use it to his advantage. I mean, for the most part, now. But there are some guys that even with height, like Espinoza 6'1" at 126. It's like some guys sometimes they know how to use it, sometimes they don't, right? So you just kind of have to learn how to deal with it. You have to use your their advantages as your advantages.
Yeah, no, and I'm not arguing for a change to happen in the rules. I'm just saying this morning, that's how good the young man looked. Now there's haters out there like, oh, this ain't even fair. That's just too big. How is Virgil ever going to get inside? I'm just playing with you, Virgil. I'm just playing.
Right. Get Virgil in the ring first, and then we can talk about how. Get him signed a damn contract, and then we can go from there and start bringing his name up because seems like it's gonna be a while before we're gonna be talking about him in the ring. Hopefully not. Huh?
Dead in his prime at 28, 3 knockouts in a row. Forget the 4 out of 3. He has 3 knockouts in a row, I believe, bro.
Oh man. We're gonna be talking about that weight class here momentarily because of how stacked it is. With what I've seen already interviews of Charlo, the 154-pound Charlo, say, "Nah, I can take him." Like nobody's taking the strap from me yet. Nobody at 154, I'm still undefeated. Nobody's taking that from me. I wouldn't. So this is what I'm hearing, and this is kind of where I'm getting at. The next possible name, which I mean, I guess you want to throw him in there with the guys, right? But there is some other news going around with Spence, who might be, and then I'll talk about it in a little bit, might be next for Zoo if Zoo gets past his opponent. I don't know if we're going to go in that direction or not, but eh, essentially, by the way, there was no Virgil ringside or Oscar ringside, at least not that I saw, but it would have been tight if they were there. You definitely, I guess, I don't know if how long of a time you want to wait, but more of the news that we talk about, right? Coming up here, June, a possible fight with Zayas and Boots. So I guess should we get maybe one mandatory defense and then into the heavy hitters of the weight class?
You know, like I said last week, Miguel, or on Sunday going into this fight, I'm tired of kind of seeing him versus all the other guys. There's a belt sitting out there in the UK right now with Josh Kelly. If I'm Al Heyman, I don't know why I'm trying to not unify these two guys together. Get a relationship with DAZN going, right? Because that's where it's all ending anyways. All these other guys are fighting there, so at some point it needs to start. Is Fundora is he as scary to the boxing world as he is to the fans that are watching him, right? Maybe the guys on the inside are like you said, Charlo's already saying I can take him, blah blah blah. Maybe Josh Kelly sees that he gets touched a little too much and he's been knocked out. I like to try my power with them. So there might be a fight to be made there. I think he deserves to unify at this point. I mean, this is, he got through Zoo. This is what his fourth fight, right? Since the loss. Yeah. Fourth fight, all wins, all, four of them by knockout, 5 wins. Might be time.
Yeah. No, I think so. And then on top of that, it's like I think we're running out of guys. Like nobody can touch him. He's gonna have to start fighting some of the other champions at this point. I mean, it's why not start unifying if it seems as though the other two belts which Zayas has are gonna be occupied or preoccupied come this summer. Well, why not? He kind of was it Josh Kelly just got the belt recently, right? The IBF belt, so he's, I'm sure, ready. We can have him then meet later on in the summer and maybe late summer. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Why not a unification fight? And it's not like PPC isn't working with the zone anyway. They got Sudo and Benavides coming up, so it's like they already have the dialogue there. There's already chats back and forth. So
and Spence did go to the UK to fight.
Oh, Kell Brook, that's right.
Kell Brook, there you go. So yeah. They've done that before. So I think that's a good fight to look at for Fundora right now. Both guys could split a nice pot, probably make the heaviest money they've seen.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I thought I was sent you a picture. Actually, I saw some clips of the weigh-in, and I saw Fundora's right bicep looking like it ruptured, like it just coils up. That's what happens. It comes up, and it looked bad. I was watching their countdown, which I really liked actually. The Thurman and Fundora, like I forget what's called, All Access. I think is what they call it. I forget. They have another name for it, but anyway. And Thurman himself said that happened to him. He was like, oh shit. He was like moving his arm and the bicep wasn't moving. It's because it came up. I guess he must have not felt it. I don't know. But that was one of the reasons why he kind of had to step out of the ring, is to get that fixed. I don't know when this happened to Fundora. I think I was looking back at his fight with Sue, the rematch, and it wasn't that bad. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't there at all, I should say. So I don't know if it happened relatively recently or not, but I wonder if like, oh shit, this happened. I can't pull out again. Let's just fucking go through with this fight. I can deal with it later. But for too long, if you wait too long, you can't repair that. And I've seen it on Pitbull Cruz, and I've seen it on Oscar Duarte. They just don't give a fuck. It's like they're just gonna leave it there, and it looks unsightly. But I guess over time, it just kind of heals itself. And even though it doesn't come back to look the way it normally does, it's still going to heal on its own anyway. But as I understand it, within a certain amount of time, you can still get it repaired so where it looks the way it normally does and functions the way it should. But I wonder if maybe that happened during training camp or something, or maybe like a little before, and it's like, fuck, I can't pull out now. I pulled out before because of my hand, all this other shit, right? And prior to that, Thurman himself, I wonder if that happened, leading up to this fight or relatively soon, and he just couldn't pull out.
Well, that's what I was rolling with when you first sent me the picture. And I did show a few boxing fans at the gym. They all agreed that it seemed like that was the injury there. Because he said it will heal on its own, it does become a financial decision at that point, right? He's 28 years old. Can he take the break? Look, I mean, we would have to look at his schedule here to see how many times he's fighting per year. But if he's one of the average PBC guys that fights once every 13, 17 months, well, then he's got a lot of time to take off, right? He's on vacation starting now. So that I don't know about how active Fundora is. But at 28, if the injury was significant, he is at a prime age to get that thing worked on and heal pretty fast because of his age. He's not old yet. So yeah, we'll know here in the next few weeks if they talk about him getting shelved for the rest of the year or something, like looking to come back early next year. Most likely it will be that bicep will not look the same when he takes his next weigh-in picture.
Yeah, I was I wanted to watch the post-fight press conference to see if he was asked about it. I hate to harp on the media and some of their questions, but I'm like, fuck, I can only take some of these questions so long. I'm just like, I listened to it for so long, and I'm like, all right, I can't. So I don't think he was asked about it.
There really is no media anymore. I don't know if you've noticed that, or if we're just not realizing it, but there really is no media for sports or boxing anymore. ESPN's not a real media site anymore. They kind of just go viral on their highlights and jokes. They don't do no digging, journalism work anymore. No breaking news, really. Everyone breaks their own news on their own platforms, it seems like. When you look at the media room, a lot of YouTubers, influencers, these guys are not journalists. They didn't go to no college. They're not, it's all BS now. And it's funny that everyone's like, how dare you let the Muhammad Revival Act go by and no one say anything about it. It's like, you guys did this to the media room. It's your fault.
I thought about that too, actually, but because you and I have, you've done way more media than I have. I've done some, but that's why I'm like, I don't know if I'm in this necessarily in the experience level to speak on it, but I know that's what I've seen. I mean, even with the little experience that I have, I've seen it, and I'm like, they let this motherfucker in, like stuff like that, right? And I'm like, I mean, again, I benefited to some degree because they let my ass in a few times, but I try to ask hard questions. I try to come up with good stuff, even with my little experience that I have and no serious journalism pedigree. But I was watching it and I'm thinking, okay, well, is somebody going to ask him about the bicep or anything like that? And if they did ask him, I certainly would love to hear what he answered. But I could only get so far. They ask him the same fucking question, and I'm like, yo, enough with the broken record. But I did the. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
And let me not throw the influencers under the bus without pointing a little bit of that shine on the .com world. Changed the media room. I believe if you go back to where the newspaper, the magazine writers, the newspaper, you think they like that we walked in? Oh, I got a website. Oh, look at my website. Right? What college you go to?
Community college. I took an online course.
I really like the sport.
Yeah. I've been watching this since I was a kid with my daddy.
Shut up, Miguel.
Hey, I'm there too, and it's like, hey, I know enough. I
So we
know.
could point a little bit. Maybe the old timers would say, "Well, it was you too that changed the fucking media room." You know, why were you asking questions? What fucking outlet were you gonna write for? Right? I'm
Yeah, yeah,
writing for a little website. I'm writing for a little magazine while they're pushing the New York Times, the Chronicle, the fucking, the Ring magazine at that time was probably bigger. But you get what I'm saying?
yeah,
And here came the new wave, and now we've got pushed out by, do you have a pretty face or do you have a lot of views?
yeah. A lot
Right?
of followers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
no, but I do agree with that though. Like I think to some degree, I mean, we see it all the time with the UFC specifically. I mean, that's a different sport, but still, the fact that they're able to control the media room and the ones that do ask the hard questions don't get access anymore. And now all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Oh, why the fuck is all the media not talking about the revival that got passed through the House?" It's like, yo, you guys booted us out, and I like to say, like, as if I'm part of the crew, like, you guys booted us out, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, what the fuck? Now you want us back? Fuck out of here. But
right.
I do agree with you. But I was watching the interview, the press conference, and I thought maybe somebody's gonna ask him about it, but apparently wasn't that. Obviously it was incidental, right? It didn't look like it affected him at all. He did get hit a few times, but it was nothing that stunned him too hard or anything like that. And his face came out pretty clean, so it wasn't like he got. It was as close to a perfect performance as you can get for Fundora. The best case scenario, goes in there, gets a few rounds in, takes out the guy who he was going to fight before, which was perfect opponent at the perfect time, right? Time to go up against the big guys now. So on that note. Keith Thurman, where does this put him? Where do you think he's? What's next for him? I guess. I mean, we've talked about him. We're kind of tired of hearing him. There are a few times in previous fights where we're like, can he get to the finish line already? Can he get to the fight? And for whatever reason, he isn't able to. His body's breaking down. I guess this time he was able to do it, and he looked terrible. He got is that fucking the brakes beat off him. What's next for Keith? One time.
Hopefully retirement, and I don't mean that in a bad way. He has two losses, right? I'm more at his age, the way he looked, the inactivity, right?
The
Prone to
beating that he took. The
injuries.
beating.
Yeah, prone to injuries. Like I'm not purchasing a Keith Thurman ticket. I'm not purchasing a Keith Thurman pay-per-view buy. So I believe he's already out of the price market that he wants to be in. You know what I mean? It's time to just, that's it. You made your run. I know he won't. He's probably gonna do like the slap fest or fucking bare knuckle bare knuckle championships or what. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you're like,
Mm.
what's just mind blown on some of these guys' decisions. But in a perfect world, how old is he? 37, bro.
Mm.
37. He's taken some significant beatings now. Last night being the worst of them, getting stopped. And yes, I argued 5 minutes ago that I thought it was a bad stoppage, but don't get it twisted. I still think Fundora was going to get that stoppage eventually. We were praying on a miracle for the one time to land. That's what Keith was doing there, and I was praying that it went 7 more rounds. I knew that wasn't going to happen.
No, no. I mean, I didn't think he was going to have the legs in him, to move around for another 6 rounds or whatever, 5.5 rounds.
Or the defense at that point. I mean, yes, going in, you were absolutely right about the legs just wearing out at 37. But man, he could. You can't get away from anything at 80 inches. You really can't. I think honestly, you guys, I think the realization of just how big this man is when that bell rings. Like it's all fun and games to measure yourself up and talk to shit in the gym. Yeah, you ain't that fucking big. Fuck him. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna work my angles. And then when you see it and you're used to being this, you're used to your distance, right? You've been doing the same distance your whole life. That ain't the same distance in this fight. Whatever the fuck you were working with before is not working with this guy. He's 80 inches. He's 6'5". Paul Williams had the same advantage, you guys. He really did. I watched Paul Williams hit people with uppercuts and jabs, Winky Wright being one of them. These guys thought they were out of range. still getting tagged, right? And then look back like, what the fuck, man? Because when he reaches, it's just that little extra inch, you know? You thought you were far enough. You thought that lean back was far enough. It's been far enough my whole life. Well, we haven't seen too many guys at this kind of height and reach in your whole life either. And that's the difference. And I think Keith Thurman realized that very early in the fight and went to survival mode. Let's try to knock him out mode. It would look like a very desperate Keith Thurman. I'll let him talk his shit about the ref stopping it early, but all the punches that he was throwing, all the angles he was trying, it all looked desperate. And unfortunately, that might be the future of fighting. Sebastian Fundora might make a lot of people look desperate because you're reaching, man. You're reaching, you're jumping. He's deadly on the outside. Go ahead, Miguel.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think one time I saw, it's a funny joke, one time, no pun intended, I think Keith was able to land a left hook that it seemed as though for a brief moment, kind of like, jolted Fundora, but not enough. Like as soon as he felt it, he started throwing back, and I was like, "Oh shit!" He ate it, which is fine. It's kind of funny. There was this sparring partner, Michael Fox, his name is, a professional boxer as well, who's close to height. I think he's maybe an inch shorter or something like that than Fundora, maybe 2 inches. I forget the specific height, but he was used by Tim Tszyu as a sparring partner, and he was to prepare for Fundora, and also Thurman himself used him for sparring to kind of get used to it. And I mean, you can't replicate that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can find the closest guys you can, and I think he found a heavyweight as well. They mentioned it yesterday. I forgot exactly his name is, but a heavyweight who was close to that height as well. And it's just you're not going to find too many 6'5", 6'6", or the 154 pounders out there. So it's very difficult to prepare for and I guess mimic in the sparring room and sparring sessions. And you mentioned what's next for Thurman, possibly retirement, but not to sound, fucked up. Well, who doesn't care about sounding fucked up is Claressa Shields. She decided to go to social media, and she'd been talking for a hot minute. She's like, I think I could beat Keith. This is before this fight, mind you, some time ago. She even thinks, I can beat Triple G. I think she even said. I think now, not the Triple G of then, but a Triple G of now. So of course, it didn't take too long for her to go to her social media and start throwing shade at Thurman after his loss last night. This is a couple of her tweets, I believe. Yeah, Keith got beat so bad the referee had to save him. Got beat the fuck down. Say what you want. I ain't never got my ass kicked like that, especially in a world title fight. Then she goes on to say, "Fight back, Keith. Just out here getting punched on and circle the other way sometime." So kicking a man while he's down, we're not one to do that, although I'm sure we do it every so often. But holy hell, it didn't take too long for Claressa Shields to come out here and start throwing shade. I don't know. When I read this stuff, it's just like, oh, homegirl, okay, we're enough of you already. It's just like, can you just stop? Because you're not doing yourself any favors. Talking about I ain't never got my ass kicked like that. I don't know. I don't know many things that she has done that Keith hasn't. Like got $1 million. How much? Compared to how much? I mean, Keith has sold out some arenas. Claressa maybe did that in her hometown or home state, but kicking a man while he's down because it's a lot harder, a lot easier to reach while they're down there. But man, she's hers. How didn't hold back, did she?
No, she didn't. And I'm starting to believe that Claressa gets more attention when she talks about her beating a man than she does when she calls herself the GOAT of the boxing world. I don't think anyone cares when she says that. They probably agree with it, move on. Then when she's like, and she says, "Oh, I'll knock out Triple G or Keith Thurman," and thousands of people respond to, "You're crazy. You've been hitting the head," all negative stuff. But sure. She's like, "Look, I got attention. They're talking to me."
Yeah, rage bait, as it's called in
rage bait. There you go.
World. Yeah,
it has to be, Miguel. It's career suicide if she ever set up something where she was actually. And I know we've all seen the video. She fought a man before, and he dropped her. Now, I'm not saying that was the only time she did. She probably fought men many times, being a two-time Olympian, right?
Yeah,
then goes pro. Okay. So she's probably fought many men growing up. But on this day, the one they recorded that's on the internet, she got dropped. She tried to come out and To be honest with you, she came out and kind of said, "Oh, he was cheating," and didn't even talk about all the other videos she has of going 12 rounds or 8 rounds or 6 rounds, whatever the sparring match was with all the other guys. So maybe there aren't that many videos out there. Whatever the story is, it's a stupid ass text, tweet, subject. Nobody cares. Nobody wants to see it, right? Because it's not a win-win for the man, right?
Right.
It's or not a win-win. It's a no-win situation
Right.
for the man.
It's a win-win for her. It's a lose.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No-win situation for the man. No man would even want to do that. It's pathetic. You want me to punch you in the face as hard as I can to see if you could stand up to it? This is dumb, right? Go fight a fucking heavyweight girl. Go get the biggest girl you can out of a fucking prison. And I'm not, I don't know, off the streets, wherever you can find the biggest, baddest woman. Go fight her, man. Go test yourself versus her. Tie one hand behind your fucking back if you think you're that bad. But leave the dudes alone, because no dude's gonna try to break your fucking jaw. We're not wired like that. We're not supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So dumb. Did she just rage bait me? Am I getting mad?
Yes, yes, that's precisely as she's trying to just twist the knife, be like, Keith, like, no. Only we can talk shit about Keith. You get the fuck out of here.
If you just put this in my comment section, it could go another 5 hours.
Right, exactly. It's like, yeah, fuck those two guys talking shit about me. Like, oh damn, all right. I guess we're gonna have to throw some shade back at her. Like, goddamn.
Yes, I will not get mad.
Right, her and her damn rage bait. But yeah, but we kind of want to see Keith hang him up. We don't want him to be the 154-pound version of Tevin Farmer at this point. Let's call it a day, please. Let's not throw him in there. I know that he isn't going anywhere. He made it very clear, at least during the press conference, that the fight was just getting good. The fight was just getting juicy. He was gonna start implementing his game plan at some point. I guess it was gonna pay some benefits, and just didn't get to that point. But we don't like to see him get in there and get smashed like that. Maybe against some other older guys, but not against the top young dudes that are up there climbing. So maybe we should, that would be the end. I don't know. And you talked about it before. I wonder if Al Heyman maybe owed him a favor. Like, all right, I'll give you one more headliner. I'll give you one more pay-per-view. I'll give you one more MGM Grand Full House, but which it was not. But my point is, I think we've had enough of Keith one time, Thurman. All right. So the co-main event of that card was also in the 154-pound weight class, Yoenis Tellez, and I figured that the double L, that's how you pronounce it in Spanish, but I wasn't sure if that's how you pronounce it properly. I heard all the announcers call him that, so I'm gonna go that direction. Yoenis Tellez defeated Brian Mendoza, the only guy to ever beat Sebastian Fundora, and did so by KO with that great left hook that he landed, which, by the way, I don't think he was winning that fight, but man, that Hail Mary of a left hook absolutely finished the job. So the only guy to ever do that to Fundora, and it seems as though Brian just can't keep that momentum going. Every time a possibility of him coming up and maybe fighting Fundora again or something like that comes up, and he ends up coming up short. And unfortunately, he did again last night against once beaten only Yoenis Tellez. Now, this fight was fun. It was a fun fight to watch. It went the full 10 rounds, although it damn near ended on a nasty, nasty headbutt that seemed to have maybe broken Tellez's nose. He immediately started bleeding, of course, and then they even showed a quick shot of the canvas with all the blood dripping there. It was bad. But usually with broken noses, it's hard to stop the fucking bleeding, but it seems like they were able to get it under control. And oftentimes you see the bridge of their nose kind of sunken in or crooked. It didn't look like that. I mean, it might have swollen, of course, but it didn't look like it shifted or anything. So I wonder if it was just a really, really nasty headbutt and no actual breakage, or maybe just some cartilage that loosened up as a possibility. Brian Mendoza himself got a nasty gash. I think it was under his left eye. I think it was, and I thought when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, was that a headbutt? Did I miss a headbutt? But no, that he didn't react that way, and the referee didn't call it that, so it was a clean punch. very entertaining fight, even with that little break in the middle there. Now, Ennis did struggle, besides that headbutt there. It wasn't like he was mopping the floor necessarily. He did struggle. He only has that one defeat against Abbas Barao, who then went on to lose to Xander Zayas. But it was a fun fight. It was a nice co-main event because it was pretty entertaining, and it was a nice little appetizer that led us to the main event. Andrew, what you think of the fight? I mean, entertaining for as long as it was, or the full 10 rounds. I guess it did go the full 10 rounds, but pretty fun fight, huh, for a co-main event.
Yes, it was. It was a fun fight. Exciting is not the word to
Entertaining.
entertaining. There you go. Yeah. Yes. They threw down. Kind of always Tellez was winning from the out, right? The get, in my opinion. He was never behind on the scorecards. Mendoza, yes, dude, Miguel, he's ruined his shot at a rematch with Fundora 3 out of 4 times since 23. This guy has 1 win since 2023, and that was April that he beat Fundora. So we're looking at 3 years, 1 win. The guy he beat had a dozen losses. So Mendoza hasn't had a top fucking 25 win in 3 years. Can we get rid of Mendoza now? Can we put him and Thurman can both go on the same boat? You know what I mean? It's time for L to just let him go, right? There's so many times you can show that one left hand landing on Fundora. It's over. It's been over. But last night should have been the final straw for Mendoza. So yeah, Tellez looked good, but at just 12-1, he's very green also. So I don't want to see him rushed into anything either. So I would look forward, someone else on the bottom of the rankings for Tellez to come back to try to get another win. And please do not let it be Keith Thurman. Just if L could not do that for us, that would be
not even in like a loser leaves town kind of thing, like loser retires kind of thing, though.
Hey man, I'm just so. It seems like the perfect fight for Tellez because Al Heyman loves double ending all of his deals, and Thurman does only have 2 losses on his record, right? It doesn't look the worst when you're going up against an up and comer. So the writings on the wall.
You're talking about. Oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were talking about Mendoza.
Right. Oh no. That's that's if they both wanted to fight, why not call Zuffa, right? And I'm being honest, these are the kind of guys Zuffa probably needs for all of their young guns to get that experience, get that name recognition for whatever it costs. And then they got a pay scale that maybe those guys can make a little retirement money on, and that's kind of their market. You know what I mean? I wouldn't see. I think Mendoza would be a hell of a grab at 300,000 per fight. That would be a great time for Mendoza to try to get over there and get that, because him and Thurman should be ranked as soon as they get over there. So they have that out now, But no, as far as being in the big leagues or fighting, on main events of pay-per-view cards, hopefully that's done for both of them, Mendoza and Thurman.
All right. So those are the 2 primary fights. There were some other ones on the card, but they were kind of sort of one-sided, really. We were talking about possibly attending this fight, about the ticket prices or whatnot. It wasn't. Man, it wasn't. Holy hell, how can I say this? There was a lot of empty seats in the arena. You can really see it, right? I sent you guys a picture. I was in the process of watching, and they were like prepping, entering the ring for the co-main event with Mendoza and Tellez, and I was like, oh man, you can see a lot. And even if you watch like some of the highlights of Fundora and Keith Thurman in the background, you see a lot of seats. That they weren't that pricey. They were pretty decent, right? I wouldn't have minded swinging by and checking them out. But holy hell, that arena was not. And maybe they did have the hardcores, right? Like I guess I should say the fans, their own corners. I guess the Fundora fans, the Thurman fans, the PBC guys. I guess they were there. Charlo, as I mentioned, was there. So I guess those guys came out and showed out for those guys, right? And they asked, I believe Fundora was asked about it. He's like, well, it was cool to kind of like, have these people here for me, on the main event kind of thing, and hearing them cheer for me instead of booing for me, because oftentimes he's on the other side of that. And um, he was like, he's pleased with his performance, of course, Fundora I'm talking about, but man, I don't know what to make of the. I mean, this is, I think, the first PBC card of the year, or the first major PBC card of the year. I think we're already in late March. And by all means, please correct me if that is the case, because I'm looking at my calendar here. I don't see any other dates, but man, not off to a great start, huh?
Yeah, but we kind of predicted that last week with, we were making fun of Thurman's age, his hairline, his inactivity, the fact that, he kind of meditates while everyone else on PBC parties, right? Just he never fits in to the circle. So I really don't know how many PBC fans even tuned in to Saturday night. And I think evidence of that was that nobody showed up to the fight live, right? Giving tickets away, basically. Wasn't there a rumor, buy two, get two free? Was that for the PBC one, or am I got that mistaken? Or were they $90?
Oh,
We looked
yes.
up tickets; they were $90, right?
Yeah. Like some of the cheapo ones were like around 90. Some of the higher end were 3 something, closer to 400. But those are like damn near floor seats, which weren't much bad.
Yeah, and when you're a fan favorite, a blue collar guy, when you have the blue collar working class behind you, you would think the $90 seats would have all been gobbled up, and everyone would have worked their way down eventually at the fight. But the fact that the pictures that I seen of the event, it looked bad. It did not look good as far as the seats. I expect to reflect on the pay-per-view buys as well. I didn't get one person that told me they watched this fight, so it is what it is. The PBC's done that by themselves by not putting themselves on the platform, right? El Heyman sticks to this pay-per-view platform instead of going straight Paramount and trying to see, like, why are you so what? And scared is not the right answer, but I wonder why he's not putting these guys on platforms and just trying to see what their viewership would be. Like, look, say this thing gets under 60,000 pay-per-view buys, right? But Paramount could have got him 5 million. The fuck? Don't you want to see what that $5 million payout would have looked like instead of a $60,000 pay-per-view payout? At least ask Paramount. I mean, are they even asking? Maybe Paramount say, no, we'll only give you 2 million for the fight. Then they're fucked. You know what I mean? You can only go to pay-per-view. So but I haven't heard of El even trying this. He's got Davis. He has Fundora. Fundora, I believe, is another mixed American, correct? I don't believe he's 100%. Yeah, so he's another mixed. That's the hard sell there. We're starting to realize that with American fighters, Mexican or not, mixed, and it's just they're not grabbing onto the fan base. Maybe you guys should hold on to your American flags closer. Just an idea. Just an idea. Do you have any family members that maybe went to war? Just an idea. I heard that's pretty big in selling American shit. You know what I mean? The fuck, man. But whatever. Stay there and keep having nobody watch you. See how that works for you. So
yeah. And I believe, and we'll talk about it here shortly, but next week's Tim Tszyu fight is going to be on regular Amazon Prime. So it's going to be Amazon Prime Video, regular Prime Video, right? It's not going to be any sort of pay-per-view or anything like that, but it's PBC's, I think, now second card of the year. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to put Tim on pay-per-view anymore, at least not for the time being. But yeah, I thought about that. And then, there was going to be another better co-main event with Frank Sanchez, right, and Richard Torres Jr. And that was going to be pretty solid, man. I don't know if that's still warranted a $75 pay-per-view price tag, but nonetheless, when that fight drops, the pay-per-view is still $75. So I don't know if people are going to want to fucking fork that up. You mentioned it last week or last Wednesday. Might as well just go to the damn fight, right, for the amount of money you're going to fork up for it. So didn't seem, I guess we'll see what kind of pay-per-view numbers it did or what kind of live gate it did. But kind of sucks. When I saw that on there, I was like, man, I wouldn't have minded, forking up some cash to get down there.
I mean, seriously, Al Heyman has made some bad decisions, and I'm not going to go through them because everyone knows throughout this is going years back. This isn't nothing new. He just has made some real bad decisions, and Tim Zoo being his first and only prime project guy that gets to try out, that platform, it's fucking ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense unless they signed him to a contract that was so cheap he can't put anyone else on. Maybe he
Mhm.
came in that desperate that they got him at a pay scale that he can't even offer to Tank and Benavides and all these other guys that he once had. Caleb Plants of the world. Why isn't Caleb Plant on Prime? You know what I mean? Like, it's just weird, man. Resendiz, all of the guys. Why isn't all of PBC fighting on Prime?
Right.
Link them up to Zuffa at some point. Go. Hey, I know you've seen the joke about the PBC belt. They made a PBC
Yes,
one.
I did.
Yeah.
I did do that.
So
Yeah.
they make a PBC and a Zuffa belt and fight for it on Prime. There you go. Like, it's just insane how he hasn't built any Floyds. He hasn't come close to Floyd.
Mm.
All of you guys that used to say, boxing was just holding him back and he's always been the number one guy and that's a big ant. Top rank still over there. That's why I sent you that what was it? Prospects of the last 15 years. Remember that? That was pretty good. We're gonna go over that on a rainy day. But Top Rank, see how they dominated?
Mm-hmm.
That's something we've always talked about, that they know how to find the kids. They're scouts, right? They got that talent, an eye for talent. Well, they go 15 years back, and the majority of the guys that made it were Top Rank guys.
Yeah. The pay-per-view was okay. What kind of grade do you think we can give something like this? Because it's like the first, I mean, not the first pay-per-view of the year, but I think the first PBC one. Considering the matches, the fight that fell out, what kind of grade do you think we can give this pay-per-view as a whole?
It's gonna be a B. No, D. It's gonna be a D. The matchmaking was terrible. There wasn't any other significant fight but the main event, and that was only significant because there was a title on the line. Thurman was not supposed to be fighting for that belt. So overall, the card sucked. It was a card that I wanted to get through. We got through it. Our guy didn't get hurt. Now let's move on to bigger, better things, So that's what I hope that Al Heyman's doing with him. But yeah, multiple choice tests for Fundora too. That's all that was last night. That was not an exam. That wasn't anything like that. That was summer school. That was summer school level. No knock on you, Thurman. He is cheating. The motherfucker's too big. I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry, Thurman. You look like you could do nothing, bro. He's hitting you in, out, on the ropes, in the middle of the ring. Oh, it was looking bad. Oh, it was looking bad. The fight. Have you ever seen a face crumble like that? Like, whew.
I mean, he got hit. His face looked worse than I think I've ever seen it.
Exactly.
Even against somebody like Manny, it didn't look that bad, right? And again, we are talking about an older Thurman, but it's not just that. It's not just the inactivity. It's also Sebastian's reach, Sebastian's power, his punches. And I thought it was kind of funny. They kept using that the media, or I guess even like Jim Gray kept bringing that up to Thurman in regards to his inactivity, and he was like, "Look, you guys, maybe it hasn't been like on TV. I haven't made it to the fight, right? But I've been training. I've been training the whole time. I've been getting, if I get injured or whatever the hell, but it's not like I've just been dormant the whole fucking time and not done anything." He said he did a little bit, but by and large, he's like, I've been, it just, unfortunately, I haven't been able to finish training camp for whatever reason. I get injured, but I've been active. It's just, I haven't got to the fight. But really, that's not the same thing. Like once you're in there in the ring, once you make it there and you're going 100% and swinging for the fences with your opponent, until we see you do that, then really everything else isn't as important. It is still important, of course, the leading up to it, and your body holding up during that whole time. But he kind of shut that down a few times, saying like, "Yo, it's not really that. I have been active, but it's not the same thing, really."
Maybe he was talking about when they go just 12-round draws. That old PBC thing.
Yeah.
He's like, I can do that, and he didn't know he meant real fight.
Right. Oh, that's what he was complaining about. He's like, "Fuck the ref." He's like, "Did Fundora not get the memo to do L? Did you fucking not send him the memo? We're supposed to go 12 rounds here."
Bro, I was gonna give you a split decision, not a
Yeah,
draw.
yeah. You're supposed to, hook it up. Make it look like I actually did want a few rounds. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, before we move on to the next topic, anything else you want to add to that to put a bow on it?
No, that's good.
All right. So sticking with the 154-pound weight class, the news are rumbling that we might have gotten a city, a venue, a date for Xander Zayas putting his WBO and WBA super welterweight championships on the line against Jermaine Boots Ennis. Let me go ahead and pull up this screenshot that I got here. Jermaine Boots Ennis and Xander Zayas, Barclays Center, which is in Brooklyn, very typical of PBC, although none of these guys are PBC, at least not anymore, because I know Boots was. And then it says, put some respect on by Boots and Zaya's names for actually making the fight happen. Okay, so far, it's looking like we might get this fight for June 27th in Brooklyn, New York, Barclays Center, which is a magnificent arena. I've actually went there for a UFC event back in 2018. The way to get there was a pain in the fucking ass. I was staying with some friends. As a matter of fact, my buddy who recently retired for the military, who lived in Queens at the time. Fuck, man, it was quite the trek. We didn't drive, mind you. We took the subway and took bus. I was like, shit. Holy hell, it was the trek. I assume that's just how the people do it in New York. But it was a gorgeous arena, nice and big and ample. I like the fact that they're having it in June. I like the fact that they're doing it in New York. But as I mentioned the last show, I think the one before that, usually what happens in June, the Puerto Rican Day Parade, National Puerto Rican Day Parade, that is happening, I believe, on the 13th of June. And in New York City, this is being Brooklyn here. Did Team Zayas or Top Rank kind of miss the mark here, Andrew? Or does that, I guess, everybody's saying the next Miguel Cotto, the next Felix Trinidad. How about just let this guy be the next Xander Zayas? Am I pushing for too much for that? I thought that would have been a perfect idea to go for that fight in that city on that weekend. They went to a different city, although nearby, different weekend. Did they miss the mark?
No, because it's going to be a Puerto Rican holiday if Zayas wins on that night. It will be the Zayas holiday, right? So, no, I don't think they missed the mark. Obviously, Zayas will take that date up. If he does beat Boots, he will become the new kid from, superstar from out of the Puerto Rico. So, no, he's one win away, and it'll all work itself out.
All right. Everything looks like that's the direction we're going. From what Chris Mannix was saying, it was Zayas and his team that's really like pushing it. It looks like we might get it. Of course, these are just early predictions because we still got some months from that. But how do you see that fight going?
Yeah, we're still early. It's 50-50. They're young, right? That's one I'm not calling until I see a lot more. Yeah, I don't want to call it yet. I will say I do think they missed the mark in the fact that they're leaving money on the table, not putting that in New York City. I know Brooklyn's close. I know it'll still get sold out, but I just think if you put it at Madison Square, it magnifies the fight. If you put it next to the holiday, it magnifies the fight, right? And you might get a few extra $100. Maybe your $300 seats do become $500 seats, and people won't mind because what a hell of a night. You're going to start it off at the Zayas fight and then end it right on the street in party time. It just seems like they might have missed the ball on that one. But I do believe this fight will be sold out no matter what. It's just about the cost of the ticket.
I want to say Barclays is actually bigger than Madison Square Garden.
Miguel, I'm talking about the magic that it creates. But
well, you said sold out, so I figured I thought maybe they would be able to sell out. I thought maybe they would sell out, MSG, because it's a little bit of a smaller arena. I want to say it's not as big as Barclay. I'm not sure what the difference is, but I figured that would have been a much easier route. And we mentioned it on last week's show, or the last show. Xander, on top of the fact that you see him, there's a video of him signing a thing. He personally sent out birthday wishes to one Virgil Ortiz, and I maybe Virgil is just too preoccupied with what's happening with Rick Meridian and Oscar De La Hoya, because his rebuttal was merely rent free in your head. Thank you. Emoji with the hearts around the face. I don't know. Maybe that's just not in him. He's not the kind of guy that goes in that direction. But that sounded like the lamest of lamest rebuttals. I would have liked to see a little bit more of an edge on him. Maybe he knows something that we don't. Back. Maybe things aren't going. Or at least it looks like things aren't going the way he wants it with Rick and Oscar in court and whatnot. So he's like, let me just go ahead and throw all this lame ass response and call it a day, just so it's not like I've kept my mouth shut the whole time.
No, that was a bad look. Most guys that say that, they have a reason. Like they've signed a fight or beat the guy. The guy can't keep, like the Deontay Wilder, right? Can't keep Fury out of his argument for anything. Usually that's what it means by you live rent free, right? Roy Jones talking about coming back to Tarver, right? Like every time Roy Jones can bring up the weight cut, right? Weight cut's the most stressful thing. Like he always brings it up. You always know it's going right to Tarver, right? Like you see in my career, see, I was a heavyweight, see, then I lose 18 pounds, see. It's like, oh, here we go. All HBO said, oh fuck, here we go. So, so that's what you mean by live rent free in the head. Fool, you ain't fought the dude.
Yeah,
he's trying to get you to fight you nuts. That's called calling you out, motherfucker.
And like everybody else is moving right past you. I don't think you're living in anybody's mind right now. They're just moving right on by.
He's trying to pick a fight with you, Virgil, not live in your head. You're supposed to respond like, I'm gonna see you next, buddy. I'm trying to talk lower. Is it getting through?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
I just realized I screamed. I was like, that probably all got bleeped out.
No. Yeah, everything got. I think it got captured here.
Good. So yeah, dude. No, just Virgil's not looking real good right now. He really isn't. Virgil needs a fight. One thing I want to clear up about what we just said about the Zayas signing the contract. What I didn't like about that post, Miguel, and maybe you've confirmed that it is for Boots. It says Zayas signs his next fight amid negotiations for Boots. Doesn't that mean that it sounded to me like they wrote it like that next fight was not the Boots fight? He's just signing his next fight. Is that how? Am I reading that wrong?
Well, I posted it up here. He says, oh, hold the front door. I think I see what you're saying. So it says Xander size contract for next fight amid Boots negotiations. Amid Boots negotiations sounds like while that's happening, like simultaneously.
Exactly.
No, damn it.
Bro.
I'm over here fucking getting a half chub to get thinking this fight was gonna happen in fucking June. This guy fucking swatted down like a damn volleyball in this bitch.
Delete my flight. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. It's like cancel the hotel, babe. Fuck, we're not going to fuck that. Cancel that expensive ass hotel by Barclays Center. Fuck you, sons of bitches. I'm not gonna go to that. But no, you
gotta read these contracts, bro. These motherfucking promoters are good, man.
Hey, Zuffa, snatch me up. I don't read contracts, please. Hit me up, please.
I want to be a manager.
Yeah, Eddie, help me out, please. I don't read this shit, man. Reading is fundamental, guys. Make sure to add that to it. That. But you are right, though. I didn't catch that, because that seems a little sus. That seems like
dude.
It's actually going in another direction. And they're like, all right, cool. We'll have this fight after your first title defense against fucking XYZ.
Right.
Oh, that doesn't look too good. Damn it to hell. But yes, very weak comeback from one Virgil Ortiz. And on that note of comebacks, Rick Meridian decided to go back online and talk about sending those text messages, and man, and I sent it to you, because it was pretty much Virgil and his peeps talking back, clapping back at Oscar. I still don't think, from what it looks like, that things are going the direction they wanted to go in the courtroom. And we've talked about it already. Let's just move on, guys. Accept the defeat, take the L, and just fucking go forward so we don't stay out of the ring too long. But it definitely sucks that this important piece of the 154-pound weight class is kind of stuck.
Yeah, no, it really did hit rock bottom this week. So it seems like Oscar posted in the clapback Thursday. He posted the screenshot of a text message that was delivered from Meridian to him.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, Meridian trying to. Now, you guys, I didn't freeze it and I didn't read it because, to be honest with you, if I wasn't on this show, I wouldn't really give a shit about this situation anymore. I'm kind of over these two fucks. But anyways, it was him trying to smooth shit over. And Oscar basically said, fuck you on his clapback Thursday. There is no getting over. You try to get my fighter from me. And he did. You know what? There's sometimes you just cross the line, man. And honestly, if Meridian loses, because look, he still is saying he's got a shot. He's got a miracle coming in this arbitration case that he's going to win. I don't know how, but he's going to win and he's going to come out looking smooth on this. Maybe he does. But if he doesn't, and everything points to what it's been pointing at, that Oscar was right and he was wrong, no, I would never want to work with this guy either. How dare he stop Virgil Ortiz from the biggest fight of his career, stop him from the biggest payday of his career, stop Golden Boy, who does how many fighters? You know what I mean? Like, he has 7 of your guys, and you're over here trying to derail his cash cow, his biggest fight. I would never want to work with you again. And you take all your fucking B-rated fighters too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and trust me, if there's an A guy, they're gonna want to stay with Oscar. You scared the heck out of me. Just came for my coffee.
I thought it was Rick. Be like, what? You talking shit about me? You're talking shit about me and my damn tweets?
No, but yeah, no. Whoever wants to stay with Oscar is going to stay with Oscar. If your decision is to go with Meridian over Oscar after Oscar is proven right, gets the fight with Ortiz and Boots done, and stays on DAZN, you're a damn fool yourself. You might as well go with him. And we all know where you'll end up, but go and sign that deal. So yeah, very much over it. I'm not even paying attention. Meridian's clapback really didn't even pay attention to it because we'll just wait till arbitration. Everything seems like hot air from his side right now. He really does. He seems like that annoying manager. He might have been good about 2-3 months ago. He might have been that the manager that was looking out for his fighters, but I think his attitude, his ego, everything has shifted during this court case. All this exposure that he's getting, this airtime that he's getting, where his head is getting bigger than his role. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I just, I'm just waiting for the end of it. But yeah, I don't really pay attention to all of his clapbacks, and I don't care that you were trying to be the bigger man. That was the last thing I clicked off on, because it was like, bro, don't take it back now. Don't. Come on, man.
You're waist deep in shit. Just keep going at this point. Just like, might as well.
This was always about, he should have released Virgil and let Virgil go make that relationship back up good. You've already fucked up. You know what I mean? Cut yourself free. But we can see the greed in him. He's not doing that, right? He's not saying, oh, what? The judges had it right. And maybe he will when the judges do see him wrong, at fault. Maybe he will make the man decision and go, bro, go back to Oscar and make that thing right. You guys still have to. Dude, there's like a whole bunch of shit going on. So because he's a champion, he might have to sign with Oscar gets to match any deal. Did you hear all that stuff about being a champion and trying to get out of your promotional agreements? Isn't the easiest. It's not just because your fights, your promotional contract is over with fights that you can walk away. Oscar, just like Eddie Hearn had the right to match the Conor Benn one and all that. Yeah, you can match a contract. You could give them more money. If they weren't ranked top 10 and then they are, you can still have a say in their next contract. Like, there's so many. And that's probably why these guys are always going, he doesn't know the contract. Because they really don't. You you know what I mean? There's so many loopholes that makes you say, vulnerable to staying with the promoter you really don't want to stay with. But until someone offers you more money, how are you going to leave him? Right? He's matching every deal that someone else is offering. He's matched it. He's matched it. You got to stay.
Yeah, I did see that clip of the lawyer that basically
Yes.
gave boxers a couple of tips on what to look for in these contracts. And the thing is, even if these boxers get a lawyer, I don't know if I mean the lawyers know the law, but do they know like boxing law? Like it's like, oh shit, this is not good. Don't go this route. They're gonna have to be guys who have been in and around boxing for a while for them to know these kind of contracts are more predatory than others, or you can kind of get with it because not just any fucking a lawyer will tell you that. So these little tips here was kind of nice. I know I've heard of UFC contracts that are similar. If you're a champion and you reach the last fight of your contract and you win and defend it, it like automatically extends. I don't know if that's how it is still, but I have to assume so. You certainly just don't want your champion to win the fucking belt, look like $1 million and then leave, which it has happened. But it's usually because the UFC decides, no, fuck this, you're giving us too much trouble, get out of here. But by and large, that doesn't fucking happen. So I have to assume, Oscar knows what the fuck he's doing with those kinds of contracts to where like, yo, if your contract is over, if you've eaten up this many fights or whatever, or this time frame, there's still a matching period where you can't go sign with somebody else, but you can definitely hear out offers and you have to let us know what those offers are. So then we decide if we can match it or not, or even want to match it. That's pretty, it seems to be pretty standard. Hell, it's even happened in like professional wrestling. Like it got to the point where in the late '90s, wrestling was so popping that it's like, yo, it's not just leave and go to the other the competitor. It's like no, you can go, but feel out, let them know if how much money you're gonna get, and then come back and let us know so that we know to match it. It's like then there's a no compete clause. Have you heard that one? It's happened in wrestling. You leave a wrestling promoter and you can't join the next guys for the next 90 days. So it's like if you're a wrestler that's kind of hot and popular, they basically cool you off for the next 90 days. You can't go sign anywhere. And it's like you're not on TV and shit like that. So now people kind of sort of forget about you when you come up. It's kind of cool again. But it's like they give you that time to cool off and like not still be hot. I don't know. That's something that happens in boxing, but they have these little clauses in the fine print that you're like, fucking hell, this blows. I can't get out of this. I'm sure Canelo's come across that with Oscar, and Ryan Garcia's come around this Oscar. But yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe Virgil just isn't fully aware that he's got all these shit that he has to get through, and he's finding out the hard way.
Yeah, but to De La Hoya's argument, he would still be getting paid whatever the market's offering him. So it's not like he can be mad. And that's what makes the market fair. You don't want a fighter to be able to build his resume with the promoter, and then as soon as he becomes champion, like time it to go, all right, we're done with you, we're out of here, we don't want to sign again. That would be unfair too. Why would rich men invest into this sport if they weren't even at least given the opportunity to make off of their investment, right? And that's when these guys become multi-division champions, undefeated for so long. We're just racking in the money together. So it makes it fair that to me, they have a shot. Hey, you were ranked 15th when I hired you. Now you're ranked top 5 and getting a shot. No, you're not going anywhere. I want to match whatever whoever's going to try to offer you something. Now, if you have Zuffa come in and go, no, you want to give him $6 million? We're going to give him $15 million. And De La Hoya knows for a fact he can't make $15 million off of you. Well, hey, boom, there you go. You can go.
Right.
Now, that seems like a fair games. You know,
Oscar still has the right to match it if they want to match.
If they want to, yeah, yep.
Damn, a lot happening at the 154-pound weight class. Hopefully, we get these fights made.
Just not a lot of fighting.
Right. A lot of outside of the ring stuff, right? Not as much inside of the ring stuff.
I'm tired of talking about court dates.
Right. And we have another one on the docket. Which we'll talk about in a different weight class, 7 pounds north of it. Or maybe 8 pounds. But anything else we want to add to this topic before we move on to the next one?
No, that's it.
All right. So after all the talk at 154 pounds. We're gonna move up north to the big dudes, to the big dogs, to the heavyweights. If you guys have the DAZN subscription, or if you're as fortunate as we are and have a secret contributor, we can watch it another way. And DAZN aired some boxing. Queensberry boxing on Saturday morning, main evented by one Moses, if I can pronounce his last name right, Itauma or Itauma.
Itauma.
Yeah, that's a good one. But and this guy's and he's English, so I should be able to fucking pronounce the last names. But he has got himself another victory under his belt, taking out. Let me see if I can remember the gentleman's name here. Jermaine Franklin by 5th round KO, and holy hell, what a KO it was! Improving to 14-0 with 11 KOs. There might have been 12. I might get the KOs wrong, but 14-0 if I'm not mistaken. Retaining his WBA International and WBO Intercontinental Heavyweight Championships in the process. I believe Jermaine Franklin actually went the distance with Anthony Joshua, or at least gave him a pretty decent fight. This was some years back, of course. That's kind of his, maybe a little bit of his claim to fame. But Moses came in and did his job. 6'4". That's quite a big heavyweight. Ending the night with a gorgeous left uppercut, half step or a full step back, and landed that uppercut that made Jermaine Franklin's head look like a swivel. You can imagine a speed bag, just like that's pretty much what it looked like as he eats the canvas, goes face first, and the referee stops it right then and there. Very fun performance. Nice highlight reel, yet another highlight reel KO. Climbing the ranks very quickly. People are gushing over him quite a bit. With knockouts like that, it's kind of hard not to when you see that kind of pop. It brings excitement to the heavyweight division, and it's excitement that we like to see from guys like Deontay Wilder. We don't like to see necessarily decisions all the damn time, but when we see guys like this, like Moses, knocking people out left and right, it's hard to not get excited. But he got himself another victory and defended his championships. Very young, I believe 21 years old. 21 still. He'll be 22 later this year. Well, I guess way later. It's in December. So he just turned 21 this last December. Holy hell. With a left hand like that, fucking hell. You definitely want to keep him on the radar and continue watching his fights whenever Queensberry puts him on. We're going to have another Queensberry fight next week. Wilder and Chisora. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw, Chisora's old ass up in here, because that's kind of what they do. Those Dillian White type of guys. I'm sure Moses is going to be encountering those kind of fights here in the near future. But Andrew, what do you think of Moses' performance, and especially that KO?
Possibly the knockout of the year here in March. That was a thing of beauty. That's a step back 6-inch uppercut. Like I said last night, you can land that punch anywhere. That's in a Safeway's grocery line. That's in a fucking, you know what I mean? That's in the bathroom. Wherever he wants, he's knocking you the fuck out with that punch, bro. You're not getting through that uppercut, and you're probably losing teeth without a mouthpiece. Chilling uppercut. So we talked about him being a rising star. He now has 2 knockout victories back-to-back, one against Dillian White, who's a pretty solid name to have a victory over, and then to come back with an early candidate for knockout of the year. Definitely a highlight reel for everyone involved. Queensberry, DAZN, and Itauma himself. All of them will be replaying this highlight for the rest of the year. So where do they go from here? I think the guy should be like the fucking what would you say, the reaper of all the old guys in the heavyweight division. Like, seriously, the loser of Chisora versus Wilder, I would feed to him. He's 21, bro. We don't need to rush anything. And you start putting this kid on the name with all the losers they just like work his way right up the chart. If I was Warren, I'd put the whole fucking roster up there. Every guys that lose, just have them beat them one after another until he can't beat any more losers. And now we get into the top 10. And now we're working all the way to championship. But at 21, there's no reason to rush him. In this sport, yes, belts will make you more money, but he can be a fan favorite before a champion and still make millions of dollars. And if he's as good as what his highlights show right now, he's going to do this on an easy path. He's got power in both hands. And we've got a lot of guys that are age. Age is starting to kick in, right? Chisora being probably the next one in line if he doesn't get past Deontay. One of those guys are going to be next in line. Did Joseph Parker sign with Zuffa? No, right? He's still available?
Yeah, I don't think I've heard him signing with Zuffa.
Yeah, then I'm looking at a name
but
like
that. He did get caught for testing positive for coke or something like that. Something crazy like that.
Still fight him. Still fight him.
Just off the coke.
Just make sure we drug test for coke this time.
Yeah, you don't need that motherfucker. As good as he is on his own, the last thing you need is him wired up on some white lines. But yeah, throw him in there with the Robert Helleniuses of the group and the Otto Volines of the world.
I mean, Joe Joyce is out there. You can do the Joe Joyce fight just to get him bigger in the UK, right? Oh, he's taking out all the UK guy. He takes out Dillian, takes out Joe Joyce, possibly Chisora if Chisora gets past Wilder. That's the route I would take with him. A very slow route, but lucrative because there's a lot of names there that are ready to be taken out. Seriously, these guys are old and looking for retirement checks. Itauma might be that check they've all been waiting for.
Is it possible that by the time he gets to that top level, Usyk might still be around? You think maybe Usyk will be gone by then? I know it's quite the leap from where we're talking about now to get to Usyk, but with that kind of power, that kind of height, that kind of beef behind him, because he's a big dude, maybe he'll be the perfect guy to take the throne from or the torch from Usyk if he's still around.
If he's still around, yeah. I mean, it's definitely set up on a time frame for him to do it, right? Because Usyk's on a lot older side of late 30s, correct? Usyk is now 37, 38. This kid's 21, bro. They might not even be on the same path unless this young man is pushed forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also wanted to look up his religion.
Itauma?
Yeah.
I have his thing right here. Does
it say anything about religion to see if we might have the biggest Muslim heavyweight fight ever made between AJ and him at some point?
Well, I mean, let me see here. So this is what I'm showing on Wikipedia. Itauma was born in Slovakia in the town of, which I cannot pronounce, to Nigerian father and Slovak mother. His younger brother, family experienced racism in Slovakia. Decided to move to England. I mean, nothing as far as his favorite fighter was growing up was Prince Nassim. I don't see anything. Let me see here. Nothing as far as religion goes or anything like that. But I mean, I guess if his folks are from Slovakia and Nigeria, I don't think those guys, those countries are into Islam.
They could be. No, they could be. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they converted or what?
Yeah, and it's mixed over in Nigeria. Definitely has Muslims, bro. That's who's been whacking all the Christians. You didn't hear about all that?
No. By all means, let me know.
Yeah, no. I think the Vatican just sent an army over there. You didn't hear about the Vatican's army?
No, I've been trying to keep a track on
the Vatican. The Vatican has a secret army that will protect Christians in third world countries that are being, massacred. Basically, I mean, seriously, one site was so bad. I guess they found it from the satellites. They were able to see that the dirt had turned red when they went closer. Dang. Yeah, they seen it was like a whole village or some shit. So it definitely can be. You know what I mean? Definitely can be. And look, didn't want to get all fucking gruesome with that little segment. I was basically saying about AJ and him. Maybe Saudi Arabia, maybe His Excellency is like, dude, we've never had a fight like this, right? And we really haven't. It really is always Muslims and Christians going up against each other. Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield type deal. So that would be on a whole nother level. to have two guys that with the Muslim background going up in a heavyweight fight. So that was the only way I was bringing that up. That might be a huge fight for the Middle East. You know what I mean?
I just pulled it up. Well, I initially just pulled up Itauma's Wikipedia, but then I also just when I searched for it again, I put religion. From what I can find here, it says he has publicly referenced his beliefs on social media, including posts with the with the phrase "Glory to God is the highest," accompanied by religious emojis. So, according to this here, at least it shows a Christian orientation.
There you go. All right. Well, then it's the same storyline: Christians versus Muslims. Yeah.
They'll throw that in there. Why not?
Yeah, I was just trying to make money for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're so considerate, Andrew. You're so thoughtful. You're like, let me go ahead and throw in a religious twist to it, and everybody gets money off it. Yeah, again, that's Mitch. Oh man. All right, but excellent performance, of course, by Itauma.
Yes.
Fun to watch, definitely exciting, and we look forward to seeing him back in the ring to see. And I know because he is a young cat early in his career, we're going to see him pretty often. So we'll make sure to keep an eye on him in the upcoming fights.
Yep.
All righty, so to get to court cases and stuff outside of the ring that I know you absolutely love talking about, Andrew. One Devin Haney finds himself in quite some, just as much, maybe not as much, deep shit as one Rick Meridian. I want to go ahead and put up this poster that I saw online. Devin Haney arrested. Oh shit, though. All right. Devin Haney and his father face court an April 6th court date after an assault charge at Madison Square Garden. This is in regards to the fight that occurred outside of the ring for I believe it was during the weigh-in of Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. Let me go ahead and read this the caption on this post here. Devin Haney is back in the spotlight. But this time for the controversy outside of the ring. The current WBO welterweight champion and his father, Bill Haney, are awaiting an April 6th court date after being arrested and charged with misdemeanor assault in New York following an alleged altercation at Madison Square Garden. This was from menace.com, I believe. The incident, which was caught on camera, of course, everybody's got cameras now, from multiple angles. So not just one. It was like, oh, sure, you want a corner shot, you want a headshot, you want a shot from like overhead. From multiple angles, involved a physical clash with Delonte Johnson after a long-running online feud. So these guys were talking shit to each other online, and apparently when they met up, when they happened to come across each other in Madison Square Garden, punches were thrown. The situation quickly escalated, with footage even appearing on a live broadcast via DAZN, bringing major attention to the altercation. Authorities allege a 27-year-old victim was struck multiple times by pillow hands. I'm just kidding. I'm not throwing it there. Multiple times, and later hospitalized with injuries. With Johnson's team confirming he was the individual involved. Both Haney, Devin, and his father have pleaded not guilty in the case and is now set to move forward in court. With one of boxing's biggest names now at the center of a very public incident, everything from his reputation to his future in the sport is under the microscope. April 6th just become one of the most important dates in Devin Haney's career. All right, so misdemeanor, getting in fights outside of the ring, which he has done before, but this time is going to face some serious consequences. April 6th, which I believe is next Monday, Tuesday, around there. So yeah, it looks like Devin Haney's in some deep shit outside of the ring.
Yeah, that's going to cost them. Both of them a pretty penny. That's all that they're probably looking for is some money to come back. But it wasn't a good look. I remember that young man being on the ground and kicks were being thrown. Unfortunately, I don't remember seeing if you can even identify who was stomping who or who was punching who. I just remember a melee, like a whole group on one guy, and they're giving him the business. But for them to point out, oh, this is Bill Haney or Devin doing it, yeah, maybe the camera, maybe they can black out everyone to show that, that they have them two as suspects also. But it just seemed like a lot of chaos was going on when that fight was happening. I don't know how they're going to pin that on them two. Obviously, they're going to pin it on them in the lawsuit, right? They're going to bring
Mm-hmm.
them two up because they're the richest of that group. But when push comes to shove inside the courtroom, I don't know how any of that holds. When I think the footage is going to show it's a melee of shit going on.
I'm looking at the footage right now. I can pinpoint Devin, but I
Okay.
don't see him throwing punches. I see him kind of moving around, and the caption says that it was recorded from multiple angles. I'm only seeing one angle here, so I'm not sure if there was maybe a phone on the other end. But basically, I see him like kind of like, oh shit, and then he like bolts. But it seems as though two scuffles are going on and they're like momentarily separated, but the scuffles continue themselves. So I'm not sure if Devin throws any punches or throws any kicks. I see him in there kind of scrambling, but it looks more like he's like, oh shit, let me get the fuck out of here. At least that's what it looks like from this particular angle. So I'm not sure if there's another angle of him, swinging or throwing kicks or anything like that. Not that I can see from this particular angle, but I definitely can identify him there. I think if I look hard enough, I might be able to see Bill Haney, but I don't really see him. I see mostly Devin.
But it's like you said, with so much chaos, it's kind of very hard
Yeah.
off first glimpse to go, oh yeah, that's what he's doing. So that's what I mean about, this could be just a law, yes, he was arrested. Obviously something happened, but I don't see this holding up, and most likely this is going to turn into money. This is going to turn into a lawsuit, financial um what is it, penalty for Bill and Devin, because it was their entourage,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's going to be connections that what ties them to the financial side of this case. But I don't see any criminal going on. I don't think they're like you're going to do time over this for assault or anything like that.
Yeah, and I mean, most likely, what he's going to throw some cash at these guys, right? Call it a day and be like, "All right, move on with it," because it doesn't seem. And this was back in for the Teofimo fight for Teofimo, which I think was January 31st. I think it was. So we're approaching 2 months of this shit happening, and we're just now hearing about it. So I don't know if that's how long it takes or what the hell. I mean, I don't know shit about when you try to take somebody to court for stuff like that, but it looks like it seems as though it's going to be one of those incidents where he's just going to have to fork up cash and move on with his career, and it won't be that much. I don't think it'll be any more important than what it is already.
Yeah, and he should. It was his entourage. You got to have better control of your peoples. And I do remember that young man's head being stomped on. I remember seeing a video of somebody's
Oh,
kicking that dude in the head. So I mean, that's 5,000, 10,000, 20,000.
right. Oh man, you would think for as many stomps as like what is it, Sonic, the coins like like, all right, that there's the money you have to fork up, yo. You just kick those coins out of my fucking head, homie.
That's
But
exact. You know what, Miguel? That is a perfect video to bring up in the meeting room with your entourage. Be like, look, motherfuckers, this is what it looks like for me when you guys hit someone. Just have Sonic fucking all it. Yeah, that's awesome, bro.
the Sonic rings boasting
Yes,
around.
yes.
Like, who's gonna wash my car for the next fucking year for free to pay off this damn debt that I'm gonna pay for you guys? Damn it! Why does Devin keep finding himself in this? Does these people? Is it? I mean, you can only blame the people around him so much. It's like, yo, you're the one who's choosing the people around you, man. Like, what the fuck's going on? Because it's not the first time that he's been in these physical altercations outside of the ring.
Yeah, and unfortunately, his dad is tied to this one, so it's not like he had the best mentor in all of this either, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And look, maybe Bill's like, "Fuck this! I didn't even do anything," and that could be true, but you guys all got to make better decisions. So yeah, I don't know who you look at when you got arrested with your dad.
Yeah, right. And no more than a few weeks after Devin posted a video or Bill posted a video of Floyd Schofield and Floyd Schofield
Oh
Jr.
yeah,
doing that shit, right? It's
yep.
like, yo, really? We're going to talk all this crap and post it, and then this comes and bites you in the ass. You know better than the people in the fucking video here. So, and ironically, it's both him and his pops too. That's like,
Yeah.
geez, these circumstances they find themselves in. Man, I don't know. Devin's gonna have to find himself some a new entourage because it seems to be getting him in some trouble. They don't give two fucks because I mean maybe they don't have to fork out the cash out of their pocket, but it's gonna be Devin Haney's bank account that gets hit with it the most, and Bill of course. But yeah, they're just gonna have to find themselves some new people.
Yep.
All right, and then hopefully this doesn't, delay anything as far as any potential. Because I mean, we're hearing him and Rolly, next. That's the last I heard, at least, and I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. But hopefully this doesn't, affect that. We thought maybe Haney's last fight, right? If it was with Norman Jr. His issues outside of the ring. We're like, man, when we first found out that he was going to fight Brian Orton, we're like, shit, he's in some serious shit. And he comes in and totally mops the floor and doesn't look like it affected him at all. Maybe this is the same thing, he comes in and beats Rolly without any issues, or whomever he fights next, regardless of all this stuff that's going on outside of the ring.
Should we be a little bit nervous that Rolly Romero hasn't found an opponent yet? That Pacquiao hasn't found an opponent yet? Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia. Like, I thought we were close to getting a lot of these fights secured here. And it seems like ever since them bombs started flying, the stories about Saudi Arabia pulling out their money, when we start looking at that a little harder? Because, the fights they might have on the Gaza one, that was already scheduled before they were bombing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Tyson Fury. Giza, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, I said Gaza on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not that one. Not that one.
Definitely not going to happen there.
Right.
So stupid.
That piece of shit. Like, yeah, let's go. I got the perfect venue for you guys. Let's go ahead and take this fight there.
So it's just we gotta pay attention to that next few weeks, man. Are these fights really gonna get made, or are we just given a carrot now the money's gone and Brawley will be fighting it for Al Heyman on PBC against, Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? Some fucking like, oh, we're back to square one. The money's gone. Freaking Floyd and Pacquiao turned into an exhibition.
Yes, that was the very next topic.
Is that what happened?
Oh, you think?
I don't know. Who was paying for it?
Netflix?
I hope. Well, I'm just saying, all of a sudden that went from a fight to an exhibition, right? Is there a connection? Was Floyd looking? Was it possible Floyd was going to sign with Rehad, and that was going to be his first fight under them was with Manny? And now that that's gone, he's like, well, wait a minute. What if we just do an exhibition for 10 rounds and try to make some cash until these guys come back and offer me $1 billion again? Don't want to take that if it ain't worth $1 billion, right? So let's make it an exhibition.
That O's gonna have a hefty fucking price tag on there. But that was actually the next topic here. There was a video recently posted. I believe it was earlier. I think this weekend, Friday or Saturday, might have been even sooner than that. But essentially saying, number one, that it might not take place at the Sphere. For those of you who aren't familiar, the Sphere here in Las Vegas, there was a they do concerts there. Basically, they do. They've had UFC had an event there. I'm not sure if they'll do another one at any point. But basically, we thought this was going to be the first boxing fight, right? The first boxing one there. That'd be pretty big news. And what kind of grand type of venue that would be for a possible rematch between Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao, which, as if right now, according to what Floyd is saying, it's now an exhibition. We heard that was going to be legit, right? It was going to count for the against the records, and it was going to be a professionally sanctioned bout. Now, according to him, at least, according to Floyd, it's an exhibition. He says he's got one scheduled in Greece. He's got one scheduled with Mike Tyson in Africa or somewhere. I forget where, Nigeria or something, but or the Congo. And now, boom, there's this. I mean, that you think that has anything to do with it, really, Andrew? That Saudi money is like, oh shit, now it's starting to kind of not dry out, but I guess they're starting to like tighten their belts a little bit with how much money they want to spend on these kind of fights, considering what is going on over there right now. And now, just like that, boom, this is an exhibition. Well, we have yet to hear anything from Manny's side. So, I mean, again, this is just whether or not the fight's going to happen, we don't know. But according to what Floyd is saying, it's now an exhibition. That certainly doesn't really doesn't make it more enticing at all. It makes it less interesting.
Oh yeah, no, the fight is definitely not interesting, Miguel. If this is an exhibition, we're not. I mean, I'm not looking into investing any money into seeing something that's fake. what I can say though is when you go to the Ring magazine for their posts, the last thing they really have is about the fights. Obviously, they have highlights. They have Clarissa Shields talking. They have Manny versus Floyd being an exhibition. But what happened to the signings? Where are the signings? Where's the Zuffa signings? Where is the Ring magazine signings? The Riyadh signings? Those have been, dude. Connor Ben is the last noise they've made on something about someone being signed.
Mm.
Just kind of weird. I mean, go to Facebook, go to their Facebook page. Do they have anything recently that shows Riyadh is even putting on a fight?
Let me see. So I have them up right now. Let me see here.
And look, while you look up that, I'm gonna go on with about the War Watch.
Mm.
If you guys are paying attention to what's going on between America and Iran, it's being reported that America sent the letter out to the troops. All Marines got a letter that their boots will be on the ground to be prepared. So the ceasefire is over. There is no ceasefire. There is no coming to an end. It looks like America is invading. Hey, you guys, I'm getting my shit off the internet. All right, so fuck you if it's not real. All right, go look it up yourself. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Miguel?
We can't depend on
the Mad Boxing that World War III starting. Okay.
Right. We're not exactly the correspondents that you go to for news like this.
Don't go to work saying it's happening. No, what the fuck? The Russians are not falling from the sky yet.
Don't not propose to your fiance. Be like, babe, there's no point. It's just we're gonna fucking get rid of it. We're not gonna be here in a few more years.
He goes and tries to hit on some girl at work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like HR. Like no, doesn't HR know there's a bunch of mad boxing stuff we got yeah. That don't get it twisted guy on the fucking internet. That guy, and that fucking fight fiend guy. Those guys. I mean, they're legit.
5 minutes earlier, the motherfucker said he didn't go to college, but now he's telling us all right, know where you're getting your news from.
Precisely. But the last thing we want to be is official fucking spokespeople for what's going on over in the Middle East.
No laughing matter if the shit's real, but that's what they're saying, Miguel. So all I'm trying to say is it doesn't look like it's getting any easier over there for Riyadh or anyone else, if this is true about that letter being sent out to all military. So that's where we're at with that. And honestly, did you find anything on Facebook?
I mean, it's posting Fundora highlights, and then it did mention what we talked about right now with Floyd. This not being, or according to Floyd, I guess quoting him saying that the fight is now going to be an exhibition, but still scheduled for the 19th of September. And then other Fundora stuff. Well, one about Ryan and Shakur, but even then, it's just talk of them what they're yapping back and forth about. No signing by any stretch. And then just typical Connor Ben posts, nothing major.
We can at least agree that, and not that we're disagreeing, but we can at least say that they were doing a lot of talking 2 months ago, right? Like the whole welterweight division looked like it was about to get matched up to start unifying, start seeing where Ryan Garcia was going to do, what Devin Haney was going to do, and the talks just seem to have gone away as of right now. Where Turkey doesn't seem like that type of guy. Turkey seems like he'd give an update every day if he was really bringing things to Riyadh, right?
Have we seen him recently? Like at all? Like has he shown up at any? I mean, was he at Mario's and fucking Ryan Garcia? Was that it? I mean, I don't even know.
I believe he was there.
Yeah,
but I have not seen him on Facebook or in his post. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's just go to his page. He has a post 1 day ago. He has a post. He posted a day ago about 2 boxers at Riyadh, young fighters. Muhammad Burak and Omar Hikil. 2 Middle Eastern, I'm guessing. Just regular posts, nothing. And I don't know if his page, if he was ever posting about Riyadh. He did have 2 fighters on there a day ago, but nothing about Riyadh. So he is posting on Facebook, but nothing on the the Rehot seat 1 year ago. Check this out. 1 year ago, same page, he was posting about Ring of the Fire, uh, Fury versus
Oh,
Usyk. So he has posted boxing on his page, but that was 1 year ago. Today, not so much boxing.
yeah, right. No kidding. Yeah, I mean, so let's see here. If he was at Barrios and Garcia, that was February 21st. Over a month now. We're talking about. I don't know. I'm not sure if I've seen him pop up anywhere since then. I mean, I don't even remember if he was there at that particular card. But oh wait, that's right. That's right. It was, yeah, because he was. That's when you were telling me that he was going to go for the DAP with Ryan, right? And Ryan kind of
Yes,
like, okay,
yes.
cool. So he was there. So all right, a month ago, a little over a month ago. All right. Yeah.
But a lot has changed. A lot has changed, and it doesn't
Yeah.
look to be getting any better out there.
Right. And that is, I did hear or read, I guess, what we talked about. Basically, uh, what does it here? American Marines be prepared for combat, according to this quote unquote prepare your family.
Yeah, yeah,
So pretty serious shit there. But
yeah.
yeah. And that might be why Floyd says that the fight might not take place at the Sphere anyway, right? I mean, if it's just going to be an exhibition, I'm sure it costs a pretty penny to put on the
Oh
fight there,
yeah,
right?
oh
So
yeah.
if that money isn't going to be there, it's like, oh, let's just go to the fucking Thomas and Mack Center and do it there and shit. It's not
Dude,
go somewhere.
Manny would be it would be a fool. You're a money whore at that point. That's all you are. To take this fight, could you imagine if he gets the victory? Floyd would still laugh at it. It's an exhibition. All of his
Yeah,
fans would
yeah.
get laughed at.
I mean, there wouldn't even be a winner because it's an
That's not.
exhibition.
I'm like,
It's like, and according to this, even what he's saying is like, oh, we're both winners. Like, oh, really? Well, that's nice because we're fucking losers. We're to tune in to watch it. I mean, the paywall has been removed if you're gonna watch it on Netflix if you have the subscription, and so be it. Who the fuck knows if it's even gonna be on Netflix at this point, right?
I wouldn't want anything to do with it. Not fake things. Floyd's done enough robbing other banks. Can we make this guy do something for real for once in his life? Even his comeback gets to be a fucking phony ass, him just fucking robbing everyone. Like, no, dude, you already had. We gave you $1 billion, bro. We let you have that life. You didn't want it. You gave it back. Now you got to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of Roy Jones, your ass. Remember when Roy Jones came back old? He started getting knocked out by everyone everywhere.
Yep.
It's about to be you, bro.
Yep. I'm, and people are gonna eat that up. That for as much as he's pissed people off, not just by winning, of course, because that doesn't matter, but saying the things that he's saying, portraying himself in that fashion, seeing him get knocked the fuck out as many times as Roy, I'm sure people. I don't know if he's going to get a lot of sympathy. I'm fairly certain there are going to be a lot of people being like, all right, one more time, let's bring him in here. And it don't matter who, throw him against fucking Fundora. Why not? At this point, just
Yep.
throw his head into the fucking fifth row at this point. But yeah, that might very well be it, because I mean, shit, if it's not going to be at the Sphere and it's not going to be a legit fight, um, I would love to hear Manny's side. I want to hear where he's at here, if he's heard anything, or if, as far as he knows, the fight is still legit or not, or what he's been told. Because as of right now, we're only hearing Floyd's side of the story here. But yeah, it would. I'm not sure. Oh gosh, if I was Manny, I don't know if I would take it.
No way. No way. It just seems like another joke on his career for Floyd to laugh at him. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be 80 years old and have Floyd still going, the only time he beat me was on a fake fight,
Yeah.
There's no win there.
And I remember, I don't remember hearing a dollar amount or a figure, but I recall a lot of money being thrown at Marquez after his knockout of Manny for a fifth fight, because Manny wanted to get it back, right? So Marquez was like, no, like, I'm gonna hold that over your head for fucking ever. I got paid, bank, and he's gonna have it, and he really is gonna, you know what I'm saying? But for something like this, I have to imagine Manny's like, no, we're gonna make it count, fool. Fuck this.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it count. Otherwise, this shit ain't happening. So,
And Miguel, if I'm the casinos, I'm trying to make this thing a real fight. I would tell Floyd, who the fuck do you think's gonna come out to watch you guys do a sparring match? How are we supposed to sell seats at $20,000 per seat? How are we supposed to ask that guy, that rich man, to fly into Vegas to come watch you guys when you guys aren't even doing it for reals?
Mhm.
It's no. If I'm everyone involved needs to try to convince Floyd, but I'm telling you, dude, there might be a connection to Saudi money, and Saudi Arabia just might not be picking up the phone right now. They really might not be. They've got bigger fish to fry right now, and I don't mean about getting into the war, but just making sure they're okay. They're
Sure.
all safe, right? No bombs are going to be hitting any embassies. Maybe miss an embassy and hit
Mm.
somewhere else. Now they're in it. You know what I mean? Because that's all that needs to happen.
Sure.
Let them miss one target, dude, and it hits some Saudi, some nationals from there. That's it. They're in, right? So it's shit like that they need to worry about more than fucking. Oh, is Canelo fighting here in September?
Right. Yeah, we're kind of beyond that at this point.
Right, man.
It's not really about that. It's kind
And
of funny.
then and then even in a war, how far will the air travel be able to go? Right? If they
Right.
are if there are boots on the ground, do they even let neighboring countries take air flights still? Probably not. That's an interesting depart in, right?
Yeah.
And if you look out the window now,
Yeah, like ding, like seatbelts on. It's like yes, please find your seats. Put your tables up, or what is it called, your tray tables, because we're about to experience some turbulence. You may turn to the right here and see some clouds. Those are not clouds; those are actual missiles. Those are the fumes out of the missiles. But yeah, no, that's yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't actually put it together until you mentioned it, because it's not just the fact that this is, well, according to Floyd, now an exhibition, is that it's not even a sure thing that's going to be at the Sphere. It's going to be somewhere else. That's somebody at some point said, "Yeah, I'm not signing the check," and
yeah,
it may very well be the Saudis.
yeah, yeah.
It's kind of funny. Side note: when you said, no rich man flying in to watch his fights, did you see Mark Davis at the ringside for Fundora and
Oh,
Thurman?
nice. No, I
Yeah,
didn't get that.
he was sitting next to somebody. I forgot who the hell it was. It was very near the commentators, like behind more Ronaldo and fucking Abner Mars and shit. I saw him back there, and I was like, oh fuck the hell, because I was gonna point him out to my pops. I was like, yeah, it's the guy, that Raiders owner. But anyway, yeah, it just occurred to me to bring it up because you mentioned it.
He's a big boxing fan. I didn't know that until he moved to Vegas, but he seems to be at all the boxing matches, really. So he's a big boxing fan. I got no beef with him right now. The move is over. You know, he's trying. He shut up. He took a back seat, and he's kind of trying to buy the right people to make the team work. It's just we're cursed or some shit. I don't know. It's the Al Davis curse. It's it's there's something about the Raiders, but we're trying again, and guess what? All Raider fans are kind of on board again with the coaching staff and the draft pick, right? We're all in all
Right.
over again. So, it is what it is. Fucking, he won.
All right. Anything else we want to add to that before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
All right. So, on the subject of Mark Davis and football, the football season's over, right? It's been over for a while, right? You had the Super Bowl. So that leaves Sundays kind of open. Open for what, you're asking? Well, I'm glad you asked, Andrew, because I'm going to answer that question for you. Zuffa boxing, because we are coming out of a drought. There wasn't a lot of Zuffa in the last couple of weeks, but we're back this weekend, guys. I'm saying we, as if do I sound like Max Kellerman now? We're back, guys. This Sunday, Zuffa 5 or O5, main evented by Andres Cortez taking on Erickson Garcia. If Erickson Garcia sounds familiar at all, go ahead.
Okay, I gotta say something. You just said the last fight they had was 2 weeks ago, right?
I think it was a few weeks. I'm not sure if it was two exactly, but there was a little bit of a drought without Zuffa.
But it's been at least two.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I think it was the Opatai, March
Opatai.
8th. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So if we remember that rant that Mr. Dana White went on, he said in the next 2 weeks we're gonna have some major signings. Here we are. It better happen this week, or I'm just saying the money's kind of running out somewhere, dude. Remember, there's even talks that Zuffa pay. I mean, Turkey paid for Conor Benn's contract over there
Yeah,
right.
sure.
So what if those signings don't? Tyson Fury,
Edgar Berlanga.
Stevenson, Edgar Berlanga. If these things, if we get through event 5 and Dana has no announcement, yeah, there's a red flag definitely going up, dude. Not saying they're out, but they're definitely on hold, and for good
Yeah.
reason.
And the big contracts are out for the time being. They're still going to sign these lower tier guys, but the big names are out.
And then it almost has to be, how secure is the Saudi money? If, and I don't mean to be a dick,
By all means,
but
do so.
Top Rank has never said, we really can't do anything this year because we got a war going on, right? So if they're in this kind of relationship with their money where it's only good if nothing else is happening, do we really want to put all the eggs in one basket? These guys are going to get spoiled. They're going to get used to be making Saudi money. They're not going to want to come back for the chump change that we're going to be offering them. Definitely not 16 million, not even close to 16 million a fight for Conor. So yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, there's a clock ticking right now on Zuffa because he did say 2 weeks we'll see some major signings. I haven't seen shit from Zuffa in at least a week.
Yeah. I was going to mention something. It had to do with that though. The major signings. Yeah, I guess it's been a few weeks, no news. But oh yeah, so I remember talking about this really early on, and early on, I mean, in the involvement of Saudi money and Turkey Al Sheikh in the sport of boxing, that he's coming in with a whole bunch of money, and with the paydays that he's given Better Biev and Bivol and the maybe the extremely low returns. What in the event that he just has to pull out is like, look, I'm putting money into this to bring tourism to Saudi Arabia, and I thought, well, you know what? Maybe the numbers aren't going to be there. And he's like, fuck it, pull out. And now that leaves a big void, and it leaves boxing in a really bad position because now everybody's kind of used to all this money and everybody's feeling good. Not a 1,000 years, a million years would I have thought that it would have been a war that would have taken gone that direction and caused it to happen. But it's starting to look like that. But we had speculated what would happen if a time would come that Turkey decides to just pull his cash out, and now it's like, fucking hell, these guys are not getting the pays. We're gonna, like you said, we're going to starve them a little bit at this point because they know the money's not there. It looks like this war is doing that, at least for as long as it lasts. It may very well be that money is being pulled. They're I guess closing the wallets, right, tightening their belts on how much money they want to spend, if any at all. And this is just maybe the first few signs of that happening.
Yeah, no, most definitely. The only thing I can say is that the promoters would go, if you don't want to fight with what we're offering you, I'm going to hang up and you wait for Turkey to call you, and then you call me back. And when that phone call never comes, because Turkey's not in business right now, they're going to have to.
I thought you were going to say, like, I was just going to say, I thought you were going to say, and then when Dana calls you, and then, but no, you said Turkey.
No, because that's Turkey's money too. So I don't even know if Zuffa would go away.
Well, maybe the check already cleared. Whatever money they have.
10 million. They're giving them 10 million a year. I got to think they're getting 10 million a year. I don't think any company goes, oh, we're going to give you 50 million now. See you in 5 years.
No. I know. But I'm saying like that 10 mil is already there.
Oh yeah, so that'll be good.
Everybody else that's not the Conor Benns, the Berlangas, or the whatever.
I think if we've followed what's going on with the TKO group and UFC, we're going to know that the TKO group would never get involved in boxing. They just wouldn't. They're only doing it right now because they have someone he's like signing the other half of the check, basically. He's using their name. He's using Dana as a face. That's all this is. He bought that company. He bought that outlet. If it closes up because of him, they're going away. They're not going to. Them dudes are doing fine over in the UFC. They'll just keep a lock hold on that and move on with their lives. You know what I mean? So no, I think Zuffa totally goes away if Turkey goes away. And the guys will starve, and they'll have to make their mortgages. They'll have to make their jeweler payments. All that shit will keep coming in. And then that's when they'll start calling the promoters again and getting their $2 million, $3 million payouts all over again until they build their own, boxing will be boxing all over again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not everyone, The middleman can't be rich. Sorry. Or what did he say? What did they say for the workers? Was it the middleman? Remember Andre Ward and Kellerman? They kept saying
the money spreads out a lot better.
Yeah, the money spreads out. Yeah.
That being said, with Turkey owning or having a whatever I forget what the term that they use, but 13% of DAZN. It's not the majority, but it's still 13%. And all these promoters are kind of now under DAZN. They're going to feel it to some degree. It won't be a huge one because the guys, they have their own money anyway, but there's money missing, right? The 13% or whatever the hell the ownership that isn't going to be there. Or maybe they sell it off. I don't know. But it's still the fact that all these promoters are under DAZN and there's a portion of it owned by Saudi money is my point, is that's going to affect them to some degree anyway.
Yes, it is going to affect them because obviously Turkey has a say in a lot of these fights that are being made. Look, some of these he's outright buying, right? These guys that are fighting in the Ring magazine and the Riyadh, they might be under promotional contracts with the Queensberry and Top Rank and everyone else, but Turkey's the one buying that whole fight, right?
Yeah.
It's like what Bob said. Man, he gave us so much money, we gave him that fight. The Berby Bevo, right? That's when that one got made. That's what Eddie and Bob Arum came out saying, that he gave us money we could never make if we did it on our own. So why not give it to him? Fine, you worry about the ticket sales and everything. That's happening right now in DAZN. You don't think DAZN's sitting back and loving the fact that he was funding some of those Riyadh and Ring magazine cards? So he was doing all the work under their licensing, under their platforms, all that fun stuff. If he goes away, a lot of these fights go away. You're going to see promoters bitching about what guy makes what, and my guy's the A side. No, we're the A side, and all that starts all over again. And the fights won't get made unless both promoters are guaranteed that they're going to see a money fight, not a bunch of IOUs. And if we do this and if we do that, where I do think Turkey is signing those deals though too. I do think some of these cards that have been dismantled right before the fight week is because they don't hit the certain mark that they're supposed to. And that's a great deal. For me, if I was Turkey, I would be signing, hey, I'm giving you guys these fucking dream deals, right? Everyone's getting paid big money. The boxing world should be happy. They're getting the fights they want to see. But if you don't give me 2 million views by fight week, one of you drop. Why not? Gives them more incentive to go out there and sell their butts off. You know what I mean? So
they can save a little money on not having that particular card or fight on the card, as well.
The way we're structured right now, this ripple effect is going to hit the whole sport if it is true that they pulled their and I don't mean pulled their money out for good, but if they're saying not for this year, not until we see what America and Iran are doing, right? Because Israel's there, but Israel's kind of using our army for the most part,
kinda.
Right? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're giving a few guys, but I don't want to take total respect off their military. They got young men out there, but yeah, I know what you mean. I hear you. So I got to think it's Iran and America that they're really going. We're trying to see what's happening between them.
Tooth and nail, yeah. Two por two, as we call it, toe to toe. That's what you say in Spanish.
Nice.
That leaves this fifth Zuffa boxing card for Sunday. There are some fights, of course, I mentioned this weekend with Tim Tszyu fighting. I think it's going to be in Australia, so it's going to be early in the morning. And then what was the other one? Oh yeah, Chisora and Wilder, which is I think going to be in the morning also. But that's Saturday, right? Sunday, boom, we got ourselves some Zuffa boxing with these somewhat familiar names again. Erickson Garcia, specifically, I remember him because he got an upset on the I think in a way undercard a few months back. That's the reason he's on here. Mark Magsayo, of course, we from him. He's on the co-main event taking on Fergal McRory. I don't know how to pronounce that name. Other recognizable names, if you guys are familiar to any degree, Robert Merriweather III. That guy is pretty hot, I'm sure. I don't mean physically, but like he's kind of a prospect, so the kind of dude that you'll want to watch fight. But besides that, that's kind of it. I mean, yes, I'm sure you'll see some names and there are some faces that you might recognize, but those are the primary ones. 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you want to watch some late evening boxing on Sunday, because at least for the time being, no football, right? So, although there has been some March Madness going on, I went. By the way, I went to the sports book this weekend to grab the sheet for Fundora and Thurman. And oh, by the way, side note, I won some money on the UFC card, dude. So that's tight.
Nice. Hell yeah.
By damn time, put some money on the fucking underdog and finally won. But while I was down there, I went to the MGM Grand to take those photos. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys check them out, I posted a couple of quick shorts on our YouTube channel of how the MGM Grand was decorated. They did have a ring there and everything, which is kind of cool for in the lobby. Just know everything else. But anyway, posted that, some shorts. Make sure to check them out. But anyway, I went down there and I grabbed the sheets for the Thurman and Fundora fight, and there was a fuck ton of people in that sports book. So holy shit, it was crazy for this, college basketball, which I don't watch, but obviously it's hot shit. I don't know if they play on Sundays. I'm assuming they do. It's pretty much every day, I have to assume. But if you have nothing else to do on a Sunday evening, mind you, if you guys already done your the duties for the day and you want to chill and watch some mediocre boxing in a small venue, tune in to Zuffa Boxing 05 tomorrow. Yeah, well, actually, hold on. Yeah, no, that's next Sunday. So I meant to say next Sunday. April 5th to be exact here. But hey, a couple of familiar names, right?
Yeah, definitely. Some familiar names. And you know what? It really doesn't matter with the Zuffa fan base because they're reaching out more to the casuals than they are the diehards. So it seems like as long as you know about Dana White, TKO, Zuffa, you'll be able to get to watch this fight. That's about all I can say. There's nothing really else there as far as I don't think any of those guys are going to go up against any of the unified champions in their divisions or anything like that. But it's entertainment. It's entertainment, man. That's all they're just building right now, and we'll see how it ends. I'm more interested in seeing about the signings that he was bragging about, and I only got to throw it at him because he kind of was talking a lot of shit 2 weeks ago on that Opatai card, right? Isn't that when he dropped? It's like taking candy from a baby, and these guys are.
I think so.
And put up a fight at all, and
yeah, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, all that talk, man, and we're 2 weeks later, and we have no signings, no nothing, and it will really be. And I already think Opatai was 2 weeks ago, but we'll give him this next week, Miguel. We'll give him this next week, and something is
so generous, Andre.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hey, he's all I'm saying is he's the one that told me it was easy and these promoters aren't doing shit to hold them back. And all of a sudden, all the promoters are on one platform and all their fighters are still with them. You're getting guys like Berlanga. I got to tell you, that's still not the number one guy in the division. You know what I mean? Like that's not a PBC or De La Hoya like coming out party. It's fucking Edgar Berlanga, So, yeah, there's always that. But yes, I'll give him one more week before I rag on him again.
Which we'll be salivating for. It's just as good as Oscar's clapback. we should have our own segment of I don't know, Andrew's rag on Zuffa rag.
Hey, and that would lead me to the final thing that I wanted to give to you about. We were talking earlier about the media and how it's changed and it's not the same. I think this is a good opportunity for the sanctioning bodies and the promoters to get the media back on their good side. How about throwing some fights and bringing back real media members, guys that push? Maybe the numbers aren't as big as the YouTuber and the girl that shows her tits on fucking your stream that's going to get 2 million views, and you think that's going to some way translate to pay-per-view buys, which it doesn't, because they were doing the YouTube thing back when we were getting 60,000 buys too. So it really didn't translate to bigger buys, but let's just call that project done with. You know what I mean? If the fighters want to bring a influencer with them as a part of their entourage because that's what they feel is their homie and is going to get them more views, so be it. But media room, is for fucking media people, guys with actual journalism skills that actually post fucking stories and look for interviews. Maybe throw up, maybe tell some of your fighters, you know what? Can you save some of your breaking news for this guy who's doing, I don't know, 20,000 hits a month for boxing, but they're real boxing fans. They're guys that are actually out there trying to push our sport, not just look at the pretty girl or look at what Ryan Garcia said fucked up about his wife today, or is he gay or not? You understand what I'm saying? Like, they get back to real journalism. They have an opportunity here to get a bunch of people, smart people, intelligent people, back on their side, pushing their sport, maybe even saying the sanctioning bodies are needed. Look at that.
That's what I mean. That's what everybody's saying. Even Oscar is like, "Oh, are these guys paid off? These guys get money." It's like, I pay me some money. I can tell.
And then I'm not saying just give us back to what we used to be. Let them push the sport they love, right? I'm not saying the newspapers, bro. I know the San Francisco Chronicle and the New York Times are not coming back to boxing. I get that. I'm talking about the websites, the guys that are diehard boxing dudes that push legit numbers. And in that bunch, you should have some old journalists that are running podcasts, that are running some kind of website and still pushing the sport that they love. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Bring those guys back. Give them their credentials. Give us the media room back, the buffets back. You know, show us some love, and then just say, hey, write a good story. Put a good story out there. This is their opportunity to get that back. So let's see if they do it or not, or if they stick with the fucking bozos.
Right. Yeah. That in particular, I can only take so much of it. You know, I try to listen to, and there are some people doing some good stuff. I'm not gonna say there aren't any, but you have to really search for them. That's the shitty part. They're not just readily available. Look around the media room, and you're like, what the fuck? And some of these, well, I mean, it's just YouTubers, I suppose, right? That's kind of essentially what it is now.
That's all it is now, really, bro. TikTokers and guys that get views, man. It's very bad where we're at right now in this. And that's why I kind of laughed when Oscar was like, "Oh, where's the media?" I was like, "You guys did it. Fuck out of here. Yeah. Where's the media? Go look at your fucking HR people for that one." Right. Or is it PR? It's the PR people, huh?
Oh yeah, personal.
The ones that set those credentials, the fucking pricks.
Yeah. So sometimes they use a third party, right? But sometimes it's in house, and they'll have them. That bullshit.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, catch some Zuffa boxing on the 5th of April, a week from today, on the evening. If there is nothing else you have going on that day, why not? All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to cover. Andrew, was there anything else you wanted to add to this before we wrap it up?
That was I was waiting for to do my belt thing. I did it before. Sorry. Do my media rant.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, I hear you. I thought you said your belt thing. I thought you were talking about like PPC and their stupid ass belts. I saw that and I was like, I mean, look, it was a commemorative thing. It was just because Robert Guerrero and Keith Thurman kind of launched PPC, right? So that was kind of the thing. That's why they gave them the belts, not because they're trying to get their own. Although that was in the talks, mind you.
Right.
Back in the day, in like 2020, 2021, they've been talking about it for a hot minute. I mean, even Eddie Hearn gave UFC props. Like, yeah, they doing it, and you know they're doing it a certain way with their UFC belts, and PPC is trying to do their own thing, and it seemed as though that was the direction PPC was going at one point. Once nothing,
thank you.
Anything came off of that. Nothing actually happened off of that. But that's what the stories that kept popping up was after that because of these PPC belts that they put on Thurman and Robert Guerrero.
Way better fighters too when they tried that, Miguel. They had a way better roster than what Zuffa's currently holding right now. And you're absolutely right. You remember when their rankings were leaving out other top 10 guys? Like their welterweight ranking for PBC didn't even have Crawford and shit in it. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, I remember seeing that on TV and be like, these guys are trying to do their own ranking system now. They're talking, yeah, dude. So yeah, you're absolutely right. We've seen it before and it didn't work. And yeah. And now the money's gone, I think. But we'll see.
Yeah. At least it looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is going to do it for us here today. As usual, we will be back on Wednesday for our midweek show. Talk about anything that popped up in the meantime, and then of course any sort of information that comes up, we will definitely be talking about that. So, and then of course, as always, make sure to check out our YouTube channel, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and of course, comment as well. We like to hear about you guys' opinions and so forth. Cool. Well, until then, for my co-host, Andrew, don't get it twisted, Lapache, I am Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, and this has been the Mad Boxing Show. Thank you once more for showing up. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Take care and peace.